So today I wanted to do a rather interesting experiment where I put the FX3 up against the Sony ZV-1. Now a few weeks ago I found myself purchasing the Sony ZV-1 as a vlog camera, and I thought to myself that I could maybe use this as an additional camera for B-roll. So my plan was to match the S-Log3 footage from my FX3 with the Sony ZV-1, and I thought that it would be fairly easy because they're both from the same manufacturers. So first off, what did you guys think about that B-roll that you saw at the beginning of this video? Let me know in the comment section below. So I matched the cameras as closely together as I possibly could. Both were shooting S-Log3 and they were also in Gamma 3 profile. And I think that I did a pretty good job matching them together. You let me know in the comment section below. Now while shooting, I also made sure to not shoot in 422 10-bit, which is what I usually shoot with. With the FX3, I brung it down to do 100 megabits per second, 420, whichever profile that the Sony ZV-1 can also shoot in. I make sure to bring it down to the highest setting of that camera so that they can both be matched. Now in my opinion, after checking out the footage, it's actually so surprising how good the Sony ZV-1's footage is compared to this $3,800 camera. Now I'm not too sure on the price, I'll put it on the screen here, but the Sony ZV-1 only comes in around $600 to $700. So for something this price to be even in the comparison range of the FX3 is kind of crazy. Now in this video today, I really don't want to get technical at all. I don't really have a specific thing that I'm shooting to aim for. I just wanted to show the comparison between the FX3 footage and the Sony ZV-1 footage so that you guys can kind of understand how these cameras operate even though they're from the same manufacturers. So as you guys saw in the footage, the FX3 just gives you more of a clean image. Even though, again, I'm not shooting in 422 10-bit, just because of the way they designed the sensor and all the other things going on inside this camera body, it makes it come out to be a much higher quality image, even at the same settings as this other inexpensive camera. Now I know you guys are not in a debate on whether you should get the Sony ZV-1 or the Sony FX3 because the price differences are just kind of crazy in comparison. But again, if you guys are interested in the way that these sensors operate between these different cameras, this can kind of help you figure out which camera body is better for you. So a more closer comparison may be something like the A7 III and the A6600. The A7C has that full frame sensor, and so you should be able to see quite a bit of a difference compared to the A6600. And as far as functionality goes, I find it a lot easier to shoot with the FX3, even though they designed the ZV-1 as a friendly camera to most users. There's just a few things that I didn't like about having to dig around in the settings as much to find specific buttons that don't come built onto the camera. With the FX3, I have so many different buttons built onto the camera, so it makes it much easier for me to dial in, adjust my settings as I was shooting. And then obviously there is the battery life that just absolutely sucks on the ZV-1 compared to really any camera at all. Now I will say that if you are shooting 1080p, you won't have to worry about that as much. However, I just don't know too many people who are shooting 1080p whenever they have 4K available on cameras like these. And obviously not to mention the crop factors that you have on this camera. When switching from stabilization modes on this camera to also switching to different 4K modes, you do get slight amounts of crop, which really does not help this camera at all because Sony did have a design flaw, in my opinion, with this camera, and that's not making it with a wide enough lens built onto this camera. Alright guys, so that is all that I have for this video today. Again, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more entertainment content, just a little comparison. I know that this is not something that a lot of people are thinking about as far as a serious comparison buy against each other because of price difference, but I hope you were able to learn something and you did find it useful. And if you did, please consider hitting that like button and consider subscribing to this channel for more content like this. If you guys are interested in merch like what I have on right now, then go over to the link in the description, check out my store, and invest in this channel through buying some merch. That being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.